All right, today is Wednesday. It's basically the end of the day for me, but I wanted to get back into my video posting because I've made a transformation. It's ongoing, but it has really gotten into effect Monday of this week, and it's basically adjusting my diet to uh, what is considered um, normal for my size, and due to that, um, I've been, I mean, I've been rebuilding. My body has been rebuilding like crazy. So I thought it was something I couldn't change, but I realized it was a pretty pretty easy and cheap fix. And due to this, I said to myself, "Hold on, I have not, I haven't peaked out yet in terms of my rating games. I haven't even scratched the surface. So I'm currently at 2,200, and I've been fluctuating every once in a while, or every ever so often, just basically floating around 2250 and then falling back down. Although I never believed that should happen, and I definitely don't believe that will be happening uh, as of now. Next tournaments, I'm going to like bring the heat. I mean, you have no idea, because that is basically how incredible I feel uh, or felt these past few days. Every day has been noticeably better than the previous. And these gains shouldn't normalize until probably about another week and a half. So I'm going into Super James mode. And I guess today the game I was going to show was that quick first round game I had. I played against a kid from Portland. His name was Lucas. He was 1897, and it's basically just me showing how how to beat people who um, are content with a draw. He was playing with the white pieces. So anyhow, let's get to it. All right. I was playing black against Lucas. I think he was rated at the time 1897. I was rated just over 2200, 2201. And I did a pretty good job. Um, even though I think I probably got all of like 3 or 4 hours of sleep uh, prior to attending that event. It was still a pretty nice showing with the black pieces, especially with somebody who was just wanting to. I mean, just he wasn't out to do much except get a draw, set a few traps, but just get that draw. Either ways, I played black and I played my French. I don't think I'll be changing the French anytime soon, just because it's like it's basic. It's the French is a very well a great defense at winning with black in open tournaments. It may not be the best defense for winning and what's it called, invitationals, or people who know who they're going to play white against you and have plenty of time to prepare for it. It could be a bit I guess unnecessary in terms of the equalizing ability, but either ways, I don't plan on participating in too many invitationals. So after the move d4, I went d5, and I kind of regretted not playing like c5 against him, but then I thought to myself, we're only eliminating one set of pawns, and I could probably outplay him over the course of like 40 moves. So, not a big deal. So, he took, and then he went for bishop d3. I was planning on doing my blitz line with knight to f6 and then bishop to d6, but I thought he may not be he may not be he may not follow with the dynamic approach with knight to c3 and then knight to e2 followed by like bishop to f4 and queen to d2. He might just be okay with, I guess, copying me with the white pieces. So in that case, I played the move knight to c6, and then I went bishop d6. So my basic development scheme is going to be like this: queen d7, probably not castling queenside, but I could if he encourages it by wasting tempo. So after bishop to d6, we got h3. Surprise, surprise. Technically, you could consider that a waste of a tempo, but it kind of makes sense since he might want to place his knight on f3 and he doesn't want to deal with the pin. But it's probably not a big deal. I went knight e7, and I noticed after the after reviewing this game that a more dynamic option would have been playing queen to f6, because my whole goal, or one of my goals behind knight e7, was eventually to challenge the diagonal with bishop to f5. But queen to f6 with the idea of bishop f5 does the same thing, but puts my piece in a more ambitious position. So that probably would have gone somewhere like knight f3, bishop f5, castle h6 to stop bishop g5, and eventually trade, and castle. Kingside, probably queenside, since I could probably get an attack going after g5 or g4. But it would lead to an interesting game. So note to self: if I ever get one of those situations, I'll keep queen f6 in mind. So I played knight e7. We got knight bishop f5. We both castled, and then after rook e1, I went queen d7. Same scheme. I suppose the game plan would be, if I was going to try and win this with black, I think, I'm not sure. I think the game plan might be to reroute my knight to the f4 square in the hopes of either provoking it to be traded off with the dark squared bishop, which would give me a slightly better imbalance. Otherwise, I could just use the knight on f4 to pressure g2, maybe get the queen involved. But let's speed this one up. I'm just going to show you to the point where it becomes pretty obvious that I'm going to win this game. It was he played knight to e5. I traded. I actually took some time to trade on e5 because I thought to myself, if I trade with the bishop, then I could try and outplay him with the extra knight. But then I was like, well, what if I can't outplay him with the extra knight? It would be more professional to keep my bishop on the board. So eventually I settled for knight takes. And then after a4 and then c6, we got bishop to g5. And this was my critical think here, and I think I did a great job figuring this one out, because I was thinking about simply bringing the rook here, but then I realized that I might want to prevent his bishop from like rerouting to g3. So, and on top of that, I didn't know exactly which rook would be useful pressuring the e5 pawn, so I thought that knight to g6, since it was essential, it was a better move to play than placing a rook on the e file. So the bishop fell back. We got this trade in. I guess I should have. I can't really explain why the bishop fell back, but it did. And then I decided to place the correct rook here. I'm trying to win that pawn, and I don't think there's any defense for that pawn, so there's no reason to put my rook behind the f pawn. So we take, he plays queen d4. I take. In hindsight, it could have been an easier game taking with the rook, but I didn't think he knew how to, or he would punish me with the extra complexity, so I just kept with it. Knight to d2, rook to e6, rook a to e1. Oh man, actually rook to e6 was my like crown jewel move here, because I knew after knight to d2 his game plan was rook a e1, and he was also highlighting the pressure on this pawn. So with rook e6, I shut that idea down. And then, no, I take that back. The crown jewel move here, I could make any knight move, but I was like, I'm feeling it today. Well, at least for the first round, until it started to become apparent that I needed to go to bed. But I was feeling it, and I decided to calculate the move knight to d3, and turned out to be an incredibly effective move. So I was originally thinking about retreating my knight to g6, or just playing a move, or actually knight to g6, or some other move like knight to c4. But then it came to me that I can get away with knight to d3, and it's probably the most ambitious use of my knight. So at this moment, after knight to d3, you can already see pretty clearly who's taking care of business. That'd be me. And this game lasted probably another 10 moves. I just kept picking off pawn after pawn, and that's it. There was nothing left to it. So I intend on putting together more videos to show off my wins, some of my losses, my preparation on and off the board, and I'm definitely planning on getting some big tournaments in. So even if I don't like play a tournament every weekend, I'm gonna be doing some heavy calculating and analyzing throughout the week. So I got plenty of resources. But I will see ya next video.